Our test driver Ines Petri knows what to expect from a station wagon. Plenty of space in back. But she says the logo and the chrome dual exhaust tell you there's far more to Audi's new RS6 than meets the eye. Ines raises the hood to show us a 412 kilowatt V8 bi-turbo TFSI engine and says she's going out for a drive. With the push of a button, the engine roars to life, and Ines takes to the open road. The RS6 Avant and Audi's RS7 Sportback have the same powerhouse under the hood. Its 412 kilowatts or 560 horsepower makes the station wagon a muscle car in the guise of a family vehicle with flair. Quattro is celebrating its 30th birthday with this model. The Audi subsidiary has been in business since 1983, giving Audi series models that little extra in sporty performance and speed. Quattro's Michael Binder explains the car is special because it reflects the brand's history. He tells us that Quattro came into existence with the RS4 and RS6 Avant, and these successful cars are now going into their third generation. A look at all three generations shows how the sporty wagon has developed in the past 11 years, becoming more distinctive every step of the way. But the changes go beyond looks, with the engine being the best example. Now the station wagon is powered by 8 rather than 10 cylinders. Michael Binder says Quattro wanted to downsize this generation but keep the engine as a bi-turbo. So they put in a V8, giving the car 700 Newton meters of torque. Binder says that acceleration is better in this model, reaching 100 kilometers an hour in 3.9 seconds. He also says the power unit is more effective due to cylinder-on-demand technology, which reduces fuel consumption by 30%. Nevertheless, the RS6 Avant beats a Porsche 911 hands down when it comes to the 100-kilometer-an-hour sprint. The car's specs are nothing to sneeze at either. Apart from the Avant's other attractive qualities, the manufacturer's fuel consumption figures seem optimistically low. Anyone concerned about climate change should try not to think about its CO2 emissions. The fuel economy technology cylinder on demand won't diminish driving pleasure in the least. At steady speeds, the car runs on only 4 of the 8 cylinders and without fuel injection. Aside from an indicator light, the driver won't notice a thing. And when it's time for some get up and go, the car goes back on all 8 cylinders in a fraction of a second. Our test driver says top speed is limited to 250 kilometers an hour in the standard configuration, but adds the electronic governor is set to give the Avant free rein to hit up to 280 kilometers, or even 305 kilometers an hour. Ina says it's not something to try out on a country road, but you can still feel the power. The Avant responds to the gas instantly. These shots were taken on another test drive on the open road. Starting at 100 kilometers an hour, the RS6 Avant sprints up to 280 in no time at all. The standard 8-speed Tiptronic transmission set to sports mode shifts through the gears from 3rd to 6th without so much as a pause. The RS6 radiates dynamism, even when it's standing still. The sport's chassis' stiff suspension brings it 20 millimeters closer to the road. The rear end's oval exhaust pipes and a broad diffuser catch the eye. Engineers managed to save 100 kilograms of weight by using lightweight construction technology, incorporating high-tech steel and aluminum. Broad side skirts and a roof spoiler give the Avant additional sporty flair. Quattro's Michael Binder says the target customers for a car like the Avant are a diverse group. He says the typical buyers of the top of the A6 line love high tech and want an exclusive and a unique car. Many are freelancers or self-employed who enjoy exclusive driving.
Die Gefallen an solchen exklusiven Autos haben.
The RS6 Avant's interior is racy too. In this car, there'll be no careless gliding along. What awaits you is a driving experience, and the car will subtly never let you forget it. The Avant is also fully equipped with a number of assist systems, including adaptive cruise control, which regulates speed by the distance from the car in front of you. And drivers can also choose from 4 programs. And if things really get going, the seats are designed to hold you firmly in place even while cornering at speed. But is the RS6 as much fun to drive as it is to look at? Ina says the leather steering wheel is a pleasure to hold. The controls and their fittings are all chrome-plated, and that piano lacquer and other finishes used in the car are top flight. Ina says the instrumentation isn't over the top either, explaining that once you've figured out what those few buttons are for, the car is a dream to operate. Our test driver sums up, saying the Avant offers superior performance that makes driving fun, but the sporty station wagon's emissions of well over 200 grams of CO2 per kilometer aren't exactly an environmentalist dream. Skoda has taken the wraps off the facelifted Skoda Superb. Its top-of-the-line model has xenon headlights with daytime running lights, a recontoured hood, and for the first time, LED taillights. The space offered by the interior is unchanged. The entry-level Skoda Superb Green Line's consumption is rated at just 4.2 liters of diesel. Sustainability is the theme of the Audi Future Lab, with a focus on electromobility, represented here by the experimental R8 e-tron, as well as alternative energy sources, represented by the A3 g-tron. It uses Audi's e-gas, a synthesized fuel or natural gas. The A3 Sportback g-tron achieves an emissions level of just 20 grams of CO2 per 100 kilometers. The Mercedes Sprinter is to vans what the VW Golf is to compact cars. Available in 130 countries, like the Golf, it is also being built in the US, Argentina, and China. And it can be configured to do any job. Are there more keys to its success? Thomas Bonnet from Mercedes thinks it's a combination of its drivability, new safety features, and compliance to the latest emission standards, as well as value for money and attractive design. The newest generation has a fresh look. The grille is set more vertically, and the headlights are more clear-cut. One of the Sprinter's high points is its powertrain. All the engines meet the Euro 6 emission standards that are due to take effect in 2014. But it's not all just about engines and technology. Oliver Stick, also from Mercedes, stresses the importance of design. He thinks it's a major selling point. The Sprinter is ever present in daily traffic, so it has to look good. It has to transmit brand values and have a family character to it. That's why so much weight is put on design. When it comes to safety securing loads, Mercedes has a solution, a net which covers the whole cargo area. It's time to take the car to a special restricted area and examine its safety systems. Another Mercedes employee, Frank Zulich, has a plan. First, we'll follow the vehicle in front at a distance. Then we'll do our best to catch up. And the system brakes at the last second. It works great. The braking system allows the car to stop just in time to avoid a nasty crash. Unfortunately, this sensor system is only available as an extra, but it's an important and useful safety feature, especially in heavy traffic. The crosswind assistant, on the other hand, comes standard as part of the stability system. It kicks in when the speedometer tops 80 kilometers per hour to reduce the effect of side winds by braking the wheels individually to stop it from drifting. The lane keeping assistant is already a well-known feature, which beeps if the driver is starting to drift into another lane. Blind spot assist keeps an eye on the space next to the sprinter. A lamp on the side view mirror will warn the driver if the sprinter is doing a lane change into an overtaking vehicle. Sherlik says he's impressed with safety features that support the driver at times when it makes sense. They help during critical moments when the driver might be overwhelmed with the tasks of driving.
Und genau dann kommen die Systeme. Das heißt, sie helfen im richtigen Moment und unterstützen ihn bei seiner Fahraufgabe.
I was 5 and he was 6. We rode on horses made of sticks. He wore black and I wore white. He would always win the fight. Bang, bang. He shot me down. Bang, bang. I hit the ground. Bang, bang.
Many young men dream of sitting behind the wheel of a powerful sports car with a pretty young thing in the passenger seat. But Joey Wunsch has stepped out of the dream, dispensed with the man, and gotten into the driver's seat of her own 1969 Chevrolet Corvette. Still, Joey was inspired by a very special man, her father. She explains that her father started driving Triumph TR5s in 1978, and she grew up in sports cars, riding shotgun with her dad until she moved out. As a little girl, she either sat on the jump seats in back or behind the parking brake, with one leg in her dad's footwell and the other leg in her mom's. They always took the old sports car on vacation, and in the end, she developed her own passion for vintage cars. Though her father died before his time, he passed on his love for vintage cars to his daughter. When she was just 19, Joey fell in love with a third-generation Chevrolet Corvette. A year later, she took the chance and made it her own. The Corvette C3 was modeled onto the Mako Shark concept car. It was built for nearly 50 years with only minor changes. Concealed headlamps, round, recessed taillights, and wide tires were the car's trademarks. And like all Corvettes, it had a fiberglass body with heavy metal under the hood. Joey says the flared contours along the sides and futuristic design don't really seem to belong to the year the car was made. Even today, everyone she passes looks and seems to like what they see. She thinks the car looks magnificent. Add to that is the 390 horsepower, 8-cylinder big block engine and the cool sound it makes. She says her Chevy's fun. But doesn't such a veteran Corvette like hers take lots of TLC and tinkering? Not really, but it does have a gas-guzzling habit. The V8 big block 7 liters burns lots of fuel. Fiberglass or not, the car won't even budge without burning most of the 20 liters it needs to move 100 clicks. And the American technology just isn't up to the searing steady speeds on today's German autobahns. But a well-maintained Corvette is as dependable as a VW Rabbit. Anyway, 32-year-old Joey doesn't mind getting her hands dirty to keep it purring like a kitten. She fixes little things here and there. She's learned how to change the oil and make cosmetic repairs, but she won't get into the engine itself. She likes to watch, but she's afraid she'd end up doing more harm than good. But she wouldn't mind learning how to do it someday. Joey's thoroughly restored model is equipped with a rare 4-speed transmission. It sprints from 0 to 100 in about 6 seconds. But as a policewoman, Joey is happy to cruise at the speed limit. She doesn't have to push the envelope in her Corvette to feel like she's driving a sports car or any other vintage classic. Joey muses that if she had the money and a big garage, she'd first buy a black Chevy Chevelle SS, then maybe a Mustang Fastback, and then maybe a car like her first one, a VW Beetle, and a Triumph like her father's. Joey and her big block Corvette do go quite well together. Then a rival for Joey's affections comes on the scene. But then a Corvette has never really had to worry about the competition. And Joey won't even let him behind the wheel. The Corvette has lasted 6 generations, with a 7th coming up in autumn this year.